Good afternoon. So we've just obviously heard from Mark and the panel on a great conversation around tourism, and I'm delighted now to have a fantastic panel where we're going to continue on the theme of tourism but have a bit of a deeper dive into Oman. So I'll start, Aiman, I'll start with you actually with the question. How is Oman investing in its overall infrastructure and specifically at its airports? And what investments have you made to ensure that airports are ready for the surge in visitors?
Thank you very much. What an amazing event. I'm really happy and thrilled to be here. Oman have actually invested more than $3 billion US dollars in the infrastructure of the airports. There was a big investment was done similarly with the airline and the airports. We have state-of-the-art buildings where we have Code F runways in all of the airports that we run. We're running 7 airports in Oman. Those airports are actually was invested in through the government to give more competitiveness to the country, to get more reach and connectivity to the world, and to also make sure that we welcome our guests in the best manner. Simultaneously, as you know, we also invested in people to also be in par with the new buildings that we had. We opened Salalah Airport in 2015, and Salalah is a tourist destination. I'm sure Dr. Hashil will speak about the amazing hotels there, and it's also a commerce destination. Oman airport, the main airport that we have is Muscat International. Muscat International Airport was ranked number 97 when it comes to customer service. And we've done a full 5-year plan to actually jump over those ranks worldwide. So from 97, we've achieved, after actually we did a good plan, and the plan was all being cascaded, communicated with all the stakeholders. So we jumped from 97 to 77 in the old airport. In 2018, we've shifted on March 20th. I remember that day because I slept 45 minutes at that day. From 77 to 26.
Wow.
Yes. And before the pandemic, we were number 8 worldwide with our peer, airport peer. Unfortunately, in the pandemic, we went down to 12, but our vision is to be in the top 10. So this is our story. We believe in ourselves. And thank you. And it's not the airport management company, it's the whole ecosystem. So like if you come to the immigration, you rate the immigration officer. If you come to the security, you rate the security. And that all adds up to be the best among the rest. FDIs that came to the country during the opening of those airports was almost $1 billion US dollars. And it adds up as we talk. We have a new initiative to open up the real estate development areas around the airports. Because, you used to have airport city and city airports. So what we're trying to do is actually build a city around all of the airports that we have, and we complement the city, not compete. If you see the airports that were selected in Oman are near the seaports to leverage and complement each other. Sea, air, cargo, and vice versa. So Salalah Airport is next to Salalah Port. Sohar Airport is next to Sohar Port, and Duqm also. So it's really a good combination that we had, thanks to the wise vision that we've really escalated up the aviation sector, and that's why we have that competitive advantage now.
Amazing. Fantastic. Hashil, I'm going to come to you next. What makes Oman different, would you say, from its Gulf neighbours, and what's the kind of competitive advantage do you offer to investors that are not available anywhere else?
I think you've noticed that tourism being said in every discussion and every session here. And that's been fortunate or unfortunate for me. I'm in the business of everyone. But Oman really set it right when we talk about tourism. Yeah. The beauty of Oman, if we compare it to the region, and then we'll talk about globally, that it's a destination year-long, which is not the same for our region being because of the climate. So currently it's the same temperature as here, plus 40 degrees only. So bringing it to perspective, that we still have in Oman different places to visit. So it is a year-long destination. Then also His Excellency was talking about our location. That's make also another competitive advantage for us. The coastal, we have 3,165 kilometers. That's again making it more and more that we can offer. And then it's only the destination that I know that you will leave the airport, the beautiful airport we have, and then you will go for 2 hours drive and you will be hiking in 3,000 meters above sea level. You will come back, another 2 hours drive, and you will be camping under the stars in the desert. That's within the same day. So this is one of few things that we can keep talking about Oman. Then the connectivity that we have as well. 2/3 of the globe reach Oman in 8 hours. Of course, we can use Oman Air, or that's something he will promote for. But then also, as I said, that is the connectivity that we have, the location and the location of Oman. So we have all of these. We need now to capitalize on bringing it together. Also, the vision of the 2040 set it right for us. So we have a true north now. We know exactly what we want to develop. We know exactly how we want to capitalize on what we have there, and the alignment between all the sectors that you see here today.
Amazing. Abdulrahman, how would you say, because I know we spoke about this a bit beforehand, actually, and I think it's really interesting, but how would you say the unique history of Oman has kind of really helped to shape it into a growing hub for aviation and tourism? It's got a really nice story.
Yeah, thank you, Duncan. So it's a pleasure to be here, first of all, in front of distinguished guests, and thank you very much for the invitation. You know, when you look back in history, the wealth and prosperity of nations has been driven by trade routes. Whether we're talking about the great silk routes of Asia, or we're talking about the trade winds across the Atlantic, those trade routes acted as the catalyst for development, for wealth, for growth between nations. Within Oman Air, we are essentially creating the air routes, which are the modern day trade routes. So we operate to around 50 destinations worldwide. We cover all of Europe, Asia, Indian subcontinent, all the major hubs around the world. Oman Air is facilitating prosperity and wealth for the Sultanate of Oman through connecting people, bringing people together, bringing trade to the Sultanate. Now, Oman's got a really interesting history, actually. It's something that I really enjoy reading. Now, I don't know if many people know here, but Oman used to have its own empire, and that empire was based on trade. The Omanis were the pioneers of trade. The empire used to run from what is now modern-day Pakistan down to Zanzibar and Tanzania. And I remember a couple of months ago, I went to Salalah, which is a beautiful city that everybody should go and see. And there's a museum there called the Frankincense Museum. Now, obviously, Oman's trade was originally based on frankincense, and if everybody wants to try, our lovely Oman Air crew outside have these frankincense candy, and I really suggest after this you go and try those. But in that frankincense museum, there were two paintings that really struck me and sort of struck a chord inside of me about trade and the pioneering vision of the Omani forefathers. And that first picture I saw dates back to 1050 AD. That was before the Battle of Hastings and the Norman conquest of the UK. And that picture depicted an Omani delegation dressed in exactly the same way that you'll find Omanis dressed today, going to China and presenting gifts to the emperor at the time from the Sung dynasty, using those trade routes. The other picture I saw was maybe a bit more modern. It was from 1840, and that depicted another Omani delegation using those trade winds to go across the Atlantic to the New World, to what is now modern-day New York City, to present gifts from Oman. So history tells us that trade routes are critical for the prosperity and development of business, of nations. Oman Air exists as the national carrier to bring people together, to bring trade into Oman, to bring business into Oman with our wider network. And just like the Omani forefathers of the day went to China, went to the US, one day Oman Air, as long as it's one world partners, will open up Beijing, we'll open up Shanghai, we'll open up New York and bring that legacy together.
Fantastic. I love it. Well, and also, I guess it becomes part of the culture that runs through the way everyone thinks as well, which is fantastic. Just, I guess, a bit more of an open question now to ask you kind of what trends you're seeing from both leisure travellers and business travellers, and how that's kind of then resulting in the growth that you're seeing Oman. Like, what's the correlation, and are you seeing that happen as people are coming into the country? Is one driving the other?
Well, actually, nowadays passengers, they're always different than what normally you see like 20 years ago. Now, if they have any connectivity, they would like really to make sure that they are down in an airport where they have facilities, food and beverage, lounges, internet connectivity, and what have you. So you always need to be ahead of the game with your customer. I think what also Oman have done is we themed the airport in a way to talk to the nature. We have just a good story I like to always say. We have 3 piers in the airport. There is Pier A, facing the sea and the beautiful beaches. And Pier B is facing the desert. Pier C is facing the north side. So Pier A, because it's facing the sea, it's all with a blue color, and it's themed blue. And Pier B is themed yellow with because it's facing the desert. Pier C is facing Al Batna, where I'm from, and that's why it's green. But anyhow, I think what the customer wants as either commercial, leisure, visiting friends and family, they would like to see the best service ever. They would like to have a journey where actually they come to an aircraft, Oman Air aircraft, and they get the amazing service. Because for me, the minute a customer puts his leg on the aircraft of Oman Air, it means that he entered Oman. And then when he leaves Oman Air, he needs to have some nice level as expected in the airport, and he needs to leave as quick as possible when he's arriving. So we try to leverage in that area. On the frankincense that Aboudi was talking about, we have a theme, like a smelling theme in our airports with all frankincense. So you go to our airports, you will smell this amazing smell. And we are always talking to the 5 senses in the airports.
Amazing.
Can I add something to
of
that?
course.
Because I think it's really important what Sheikh Aiman was saying. During the pandemic, everybody said nobody's going to travel. Businesses, everything's going to be conducted on Zoom, and we were just going to sit back and sit at home and talk virtually to people. But we're human beings. We're animals that need social contact and social relationships. And what we've seen, certainly from an airline perspective, is that tremendous resurgence of travel, whether it's be business or whether it's be for tourism. Now, the one thing that makes Oman very different to the rest of the countries in the region is we don't have any high-rises. I believe the days of people going to high-rise hotels to sit on a beach and then go to the mall in the afternoon is over. I think people want experiences. They want to experience something that's unique. Oman gives them that experience. And most of all, I think there's an internal feeling. And that feeling is to be at one with the world. And Oman makes you feel at one with the world.
Yes, to add to this, the idea about experience is really what's now driving what the customers is after. But also they want something different. And fortunately, I think we kept Oman as secret as it is. Now it is the destination. And when they come and they as in the morning we were saying that still people, they don't know about the country. But the moment they're in, I mean, and at last that's the feedback we hear. Yes, this is being hidden from us, and it is the heaven that we want to visit. So now we provide a new experience. Now we're providing Oman differently. And connecting all of the dots we're talking about here, I think this is the trend that people want to see when they travel now. It's very rarely you hear someone is traveling to stay in a hotel or to visit a mall. That's what Abdul was trying to say. But what is it that country can offer? And if we just refer on what we have been describing here about Oman, I think we have it all.
Amazing. And I'm conscious we haven't got loads of time left, but one quick question, because I can sense the amazing kind of collaboration going on. So how have you all worked together, and how do the three companies work together to kind of promote tourism? You're obviously doing it very effectively.
Well, your story about the airline, the airport, you missed the hotel. That could summarize it all.
I actually did, but you know, at the end of the day, we need to make sure that, you know, we bring you the customer with good hands. So
I'm convinced.
But anyhow, going back to your question, I guess look at this forum. This forum was done from those four entities.
Yeah.
We are actually all owned by Oman Investment Fund, and we do such events and other events together as to leverage on each other. This is one. Number two, I invite you, I told you, I'll say it, and I keep my promise. I invite you to come to Oman because you didn't visit to Oman. And I'm extending the invitation to all of you to come and visit Oman. It's a lovely country. You will really love it. You will have a very good experience. As Sir Sherard was talking about Oman and how he loves Oman, I hope to see all of you to talk on the same language that he was talking on.
Yeah. Can I add one word? To your question, what makes us work so well together with Asyad? There's one word. It's one word you feel when you get on an Oman Air aircraft. It's one word when you see how we operate together, and that's family.
Nice.
Well said. Well said.
Well, thank you very much. It was a great conversation. I'm sold. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.